What's up, guys? My name's Brandon. Hope you guys are well. Welcome back to part 2 of the transfer analysis. I think that's what it's going to be called, or something like that. Okay, but the first part I spoke about the outgoings. Now I'm going to speak about the incomings. And I think personally, Liverpool have done extremely well in this window. And I'm going to give you guys my analysis of everything, give you guys my opinion, and hope you guys enjoy it. To start off with, let's actually talk about Jurgen Klopp's transfer strategy, right? So pretty much, Jurgen Klopp's transfer strategy, he doesn't buy world-class stars, he makes them. And guys, from his time at Dortmund, we've seen he builds stars up. He doesn't buy these world-class players and just bring them into the side. He buys players that he believes has potential to become these world beaters, and that's what he has tried to do at Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp, back I think sometime in March, said that Liverpool fans mustn't worry about the transfer fees in this window, but rather look at what the player can bring to Liverpool, what they can bring to the squad. Jurgen Klopp doesn't care about the transfer fee. Jurgen Klopp cares if that player can bring something new to the squad, can bring something that Liverpool are missing, then that player is the right man to bring to Liverpool, regardless of the transfer fee, okay? And I think that's quite relevant to this window as well, where Jurgen Klopp splashed the cash on Wijnaldum, and he splashed the cash on Sadio Mane, and I think this is very relevant. The first transfer Jurgen Klopp made was back in January, Marko Grujic, and I think that's how you say his name, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so basically he was the first signing Jurgen Klopp made, £5 million from Red Star Belgrade, and I wasn't quite sure what to make of it at the time. I know his assistant manager, Željko Buvac, he actually gave the go-ahead. Listen, sign this boy, he has potential. Jurgen Klopp actually went ahead with the deal. And we've seen now in this small period that he actually looks like a very good capture. A lot of potential, and he's actually such a big boy. My God. Guys, he's only 20 years old, has a lot to develop, a lot to learn. And I think the hype around him right now, I personally think it's a bit too early. You can't really tell in preseason, okay? Preseason is when you can kind of see what a player has, where his strengths lie, what kind of potential he has, what kind of talent. And I agree, there's a lot of reason to be happy, a lot of reason to be excited about his signing. Personally, I love the way he plays. He's very mobile, okay? And he has like a lot of composure on the ball. Still has a lot to learn, obviously. Very young, very raw. But I think under Jurgen Klopp's guidance, he can be such a good player. Personally, I don't think he'll start. I don't see him starting at all. I think he'll be one of those players who'll come in now and again into the games later on in the game. He's not going to be that type of player who'll come in and change the game. He's someone who Jurgen Klopp personally will bring in to maybe like stabilize the ship there. Maybe have someone a bit deeper there in that holding midfield role. And I think personally it's a good signing. Really, I think it's a good signing. I really do. Now the next player in was Matip on a free from Schalke. And I think that could be one of our best bits of business this season. As time went on, he slowly gained that confidence. I don't know where he lost confidence from, but okay. And he actually started to show his quality. Very good in the air as well. Going forward the ball, very good passing ability. Kind of reminds me of like a Mats Hummels. Very good on the ball. He does. He reminds me like a lot of Mats Hummels. But the problem is he's been suffering with an ankle injury. And I think he had a plate removed early on in this preseason, and it actually has been hampering ever since. I know he's missing the game tomorrow night versus Chelsea. Not through injury. Well, through injury technically. But the medical staff are actually treating him and actually keeping him and saving him for the Premier League. They don't want to actually rupture that ankle again. And I think it's very smart business that. Because the thing is, you want him for the whole season. Maybe if he misses the first 2 games, you'd rather have him for the whole season than, let's say, miss the first month, let's say. You know, so that's, I think, good business. Personally, his actual signing, I think, is very good, okay? Liverpool's backline aren't the tallest. Let's be real here. They aren't the tallest, aren't the most physical. And I think he brings that kind of physical presence, that aerial ability. Liverpool are very shaky on set pieces as well, you know, and I think this could be the perfect man to combat that. I expect him to start first game of the season if he's fit. If he doesn't, then I think Ragnar Klavan will start, actually. Karius is the next man in Liverpool. I think a very good goalkeeper, but he hasn't really been tested as yet. Made a great save, I think it was versus Huddersfield. Unbelievable save. And he seems very good at his feet, very composed. Maybe too composed, okay? Versus, I think it was Wigan. Maybe a bit too composed. But like just making things a bit interesting for him. He hasn't really had much to do, you know. And I think he's something different to Simon Mignolet. Personally, I think it's going to be a very good battle for that number 1 spot. Personally, I don't think Manninger is going to give the number 1 spot up that easily. Personally, I think Karius will start first game of the season. but I promise you, don't doubt Sadio Mane for 1 second. He has a lot of quality as well. He does make mistakes, but I think with Karius now in the side, I think he realizes he has to get back to his best. And let's see how this one pans out. But personally, a great signing, £6 million. You know, and spending £6 million on a goalkeeper is not the worst option. And I think Jurgen Klopp understood the goalkeeping area is a big liability right now, and I think it's a good signing. Our most expensive signing of the window, 32 million, Sadio Mane signed for Liverpool from Southampton. And when he signed, I'm not going to lie to you, I was quite concerned. I was thinking, not again, why are we spending these extravagant fees on someone who's not going to help the side? Not the best player, very inconsistent, didn't really show that much quality at Southampton, not what I would have liked, you know, and I was very pessimistic about his signing, like I'm putting that out there. Comes to pre-season, I watched about 3 games so far. I think there's only been 3, and I've been very impressed. I've been blown away actually by his quality. A lot of pace, a lot of power actually. I really believe he's a good signing. I think at that price tag, it's a bit much, but like Jurgen Klopp said, rather look at what he can bring to the side, not his price tag. And we don't have someone like Sadio Mane, let's be real here. He's fast, he's quick, runs the lines well, breaks the line as well, you know, and he gives Liverpool something different. He gives another option, okay? I think he'll be playing wide right or wide left, but I think he should be a guaranteed starter. At £32 million, I don't see how he won't start, personally. But I really think it's a good signing. He brings something different. He has a goal-scoring threat as well, but like I said before, very inconsistent. Final delivery's not always there, the final product. But I think he gives Liverpool that like unpredictability, which is so good, so vital, you know. And I think it's a good signing. £32 million, a bit much. If you actually look in the price tag, a bit much. Maybe something like 20 million. But if Jurgen Klopp thinks he's the right man for that price tag, back Jurgen, back the boys. Ragnar Klavan was the next boy in, 30 years old, for about £4.2 million. Honestly, I don't know the guy from a bar of soap. I don't know much about him at all. I've tried to do as much research on YouTube as possible, Ragnar Klavan versus etc. And the one game which stood out for me was Ragnar Klavan versus Liverpool. Augsburg versus Liverpool now in the Europa League. He's quite good on the ball. Not the best on the ball, but not the worst. He's not as slow as people make out, okay? He has some pace to him, not the quickest player at 30 years old, let's be real here. But I think he brings a much needed experience, much needed backup, you know. And I think if Joel Matip is not fit the first game of the season, I think Ragnar Klavan will start. Liverpool right now are quite suspect in that centre-back position. Sacco injured still, and he has been sent home from the US, which is quite a shock. I'm not sure how that one happened for disciplinary action. And now Joe Gomez, a fresh injury blow. And, you know, Ragnar Klavan now is in line to start the first game of the season as things stand. Joel Matip right now not fully fit, so Ragnar Klavan could start. But I think it could be quite a shrewd bit of business, personally. I mean, Jurgen Klopp knows the Bundesliga like the back of his hand. And if he sees Ragnar Klavan as the perfect signing, Ragnar Klavan's the perfect signing. He kind of reminds me of like Sotirios Kyrgios when he signed. That's just how I see it. Then you've got Alex Manninger as the third choice keeper. Danny Ward went out on loan, and now Adam Bogdan went out on loan, and Alex Manninger has signed for the club. He signed on a 1-year deal, and Jurgen Klopp just sees him as a person just to be the backup, help his young goalies, you know. Sadio Mane and Karius are very young goalkeepers, okay? Karius only 22 years old, Sadio Mane only 24 years old, and they're very young in goalkeeper terms, you know. And I think he could be such a good asset, really. He's got a lot of experience, played for Juve, played for Arsenal, played in the Champions League, and I think that vital experience could come in handy, and giving the young goalkeepers like some knowledge, some tips, etc. And I think it could be quite a shrewd one. The last man in has been Georginio Wijnaldum. Georginio Wijnaldum signed from Newcastle, £25 million. And it's a lot of money. Make no mistake, it's a lot of money. But yet again, Jurgen Klopp said, do not worry about the transfer fee. Look at what he can bring to Liverpool. Look at what assets he has. Look at what qualities he has. Jurgen Klopp the last few days has been in such high praise of Georginio Wijnaldum. You know, and he's spoken about him very highly. Really rates the player. And this comes after Liverpool struggled to complete the deal for like Peter Zelensky. And I think he could be a good signing. Like, he's a good goal scorer, breaks the line very often, gives something that Liverpool don't really have a midfielder who does score goals. I'm talking about centre mid, not attacking midfields. Centre midfield who does score goals, you know. And I think he could be playing in that deeper too. He's got a lot of energy, he's very dynamic, and I think that's where Jurgen Klopp maybe can see him. The midfield 2, midfield 3, the front 3, he's very versatile. Jurgen Klopp has said that as well. He can play in many different systems. And the smile on his face when he signed for Liverpool, you can just see the excitement. You can just see that he's someone who's going to work hard for the team, going to give his all. I had some reservations as well when he signed. The true Geordie said back in the day that Georginio Wijnaldum is a lazy shit. Didn't really care about the club, didn't really care about putting in effort, you know, and that's not what Liverpool are about. Liverpool are about giving you 100% every single game, and let's hope he can bring that. My favourite signing so far has been Joel Matip. I think he could be the bargain of the summer, personally, but let's just see how things go. And guys, with that, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a huge thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys again on Tuesday. Hope you guys enjoyed the video again, and I'll catch you guys again soon. Bye. I hate my ending. Bye-bye.